Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining Apex Hours. My name is Shaukat Kalwadia, and I will be doing an introduction to Salesforce Industries Enterprise Product Catalog. Before we kick off, everyone should be familiar with this forward-looking statement slide. Make sure you base your purchase decisions based on what's within the product and not what's based on the roadmap. Let me introduce myself. I work as a principal industry cloud architect. I have been involved in the Salesforce ecosystem for over more than 5 years. I have over 20 years of IT experience, primarily in the telecommunications industry. I started my career as a developer, then moved into design and architecture. I'm based in the UK, and prior to joining Salesforce, I worked for a major UK broadband provider. And in today's agenda, I will be covering the product catalog and its benefits, the key building blocks for product configuration, the different ways of creating pricing, and the various business rules which can be applied to the products. Okay, let's start with an interesting fact. The first product catalog was published in Venice in the year 1498. So product catalogs are not something new. They've been with us for over half a century. And then in the 1960s and 70s, product catalogs, the paper-based one became very popular. And then in the late 1990s, 2000s, the e-commerce rush begins and we see the advent of the digital product catalog. And today, what are the key benefits of a product catalog? There are multiple teams interested and inputting data into the product catalog. Therefore, it is vital there is a central system for catalog configuration. You don't want data fragmented in different places. You want a single source of truth, which is easy to maintain. And that will allow accurate product information and pricing information to be given in front of customers during the selling journey. Everyone is working using the same set of data. Today's products can be complex. It can have complex business rules, complex pricing rules, complex bundles. So you need a sophisticated catalog configuration capability. You need to rapidly launch new products into the market. The products can change, the price can change. So it should be easy to update prices, introduce promotions, introduce new products, decommission old products, introduce new channels of sales. And the product catalog isn't just used in isolation. It needs to be easily integrated with the CPQ selling journey, with the order fulfillment journey, and finally, it should be easy to change. There shouldn't be lots of work required to make some simple changes to the product catalog. So before we go into further details about the enterprise product catalog, I would like to provide context of which cloud supports EPC. So there are many industry clouds today, and there are three specific clouds: the energy utilities cloud, the media cloud, and the communications cloud that have the EPC module as part of its capability. So if you look at the communications cloud, these are the key capabilities and the features available in the communications cloud. And when you purchase communications cloud, the EPC component is bundled with communications cloud. And how is the product catalog used? The product administrator with the business would configure the products in the enterprise product catalog during the design phase, and then During the selling phase, the CPQ phase, the product catalog will be queried, the list of products will be given, and the agent will select the right products, will apply the configuration, and then once they're happy with the quote and order, and if the order gets submitted, then the commercial order will be converted into a technical order, and at that time another aspect of the product catalog can be used, and that is what we call the technical product catalog. So these are the key capabilities of EPC, the commercial catalog, which we just talked about, where in the CPQ journey, the commercial catalog will provide the customer-facing view of the products, and the technical catalog, which is hidden from the customer, will provide the downstream view of the products which are required by the downstream systems. For some industries like the communications industry, the EPC is compliant with the TM Forum standards. The UI capabilities, there's the pricing designer capability to manage pricing. There's the product designer to manage and configure products. And there are the business rules capability to define and create business rules. There's also a cool feature called product versioning, where you can manage the life cycle of products. You can introduce new products, new versions. You can discontinue old products. So there are two user interfaces today. The original one was the product console, which was built using Angular framework. This is no longer supported. Any new feature capability will only be introduced in the new product designer and no longer the product console. The product designer and pricing designer are built using the LWC framework, and new features will only be supported in the product designer and pricing designer. There is still some rules configuration which is only supported in product console. Once there is feature parity, then there will no longer be a need to use the product console, and you should be able to just use the product designer and pricing designer. So these are the key components required to create a commercial product, and we'll be talking about each one of them in the next slides. So the first one is a pick list. An example here is I have an iPhone phone and I have a storage attribute 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes. These three values, I would create them as pick list. And once I've defined them as a pick list, these pick list values can be reused for other products as well. Each attribute needs to be grouped against an attribute category. These attribute categories, they also appear in configuration windows. You have to associate an attribute category to an attribute when an attribute is being created. So in this example, I'm just showing I can have a mobile device attribute category, and my color, brand, capacity, mobile operating system size, and payment type can be associated to the mobile device category. Attribute, we just talked about the storage attribute. Some products may not have any attributes at all. For example, a power cord cable, there's no attribute required. You just purchase a power cord cable. For certain products like iPhone, you can have storage, color, contract term, various product attributes. These attributes are defined in a JSON structure, and you would not be required to create the Salesforce fields. All these attributes will be stored in one single JSON field, and they will be used during the CPQ and order fulfillment journey. It's a powerful and flexible way to extend product entities. An object type is a reusable entity that describes a common set of fields and attributes as well as layouts for all the products. You can use object types to group certain products with similar characteristics. For example, if you had two broadband offers, you can use the same object type to provide those two offers. One could be higher speed, another one could be slightly lower speed. They could be two separate offers with different prices. However, the characteristics are similar. Therefore, you can use an object type, the same object type, to associate with those two offers. Object type supports inheritance. So for example, if you have a mobile device object type and then you create further child object types called iPhone device and Samsung device, then the iPhone device will inherit the characteristics of the mobile device. Let's move on to layouts. Layouts are similar to Salesforce page layouts. They allow you to control the layout and the organization of the object types, attributes, and fields. You can customize the section, you can move them up or down, and you can customize which attributes and fields you would display in each section. Now we're moving on to creating products. Before you create a commercial product, you can start off by creating a product specification, which is a product you plan to sell. It doesn't have any prices associated yet. It is a product you plan to sell. You will associate the product specification to an object type, which will inherit all the attributes from that object type. For example, if I created an iPhone product specification, I can associate my iPhone product specification to an iPhone object type where it can inherit for example, the model, color, storage, size characteristics. A product specification is a record in the product to object. Product specifications will inherit all the fields, attributes, and layouts associated to the object type. After you have created a product specification, you specify values for the attributes and fields defined for the object type. After you've defined your product specification, you are now in a position to create sellable products. These are products which now the customer can purchase. You can now associate your prices, promotions. You can configure various business rules against those commercial products. Products can be simple products or complex products. For example, you might combine multiple products into a bundle. You can associate images to a product as well. So let's look at a broadband product example. Here I'm showing a slightly complex product where Broadband Essentials Fiber 100 is a commercial offering, and it is a bundle product which is associated with three child products. The CPE is my grouping product, which consists of two CPE devices, the basic router or the professional router, and then I have another grouping called installation. I want to offer a self-install option, or I want to offer a manage install option. And I also have a third grouping called add-ons, and these are additional products which the customer can buy. They can buy security option products, or they can buy the Wi-Fi extender products. So for this, I would create, first of all, I would start creating my Picklist values. For example, we talked about contract term, that can be a 12-month value or an 18-month value or a 24-month value. So I would start creating my picklist values, my attributes, my attribute categories, and then I would define my object types with those characteristics, with those attributes. I would then create a product specification and associate that to an object type. And then once my product specifications are ready, then I can start creating my commercial offerings. I would create my basic router, my professional router, my self-install manage install offers, my security offer, my Wi-Fi extender offer, and then I can group these offers into my parent offer, and I will have a bundle broadband essentials fiber 100 with this product structure. So this is an example where you can create a complex product structure like this based on the various building blocks which I have just talked about. Okay, let's start now in the next section of pricing configuration. So these are the pricing components required to associate prices to a product. We've got the pricing metadata, we have price list, you can associate cost and margin to your products. We have pricing plan where you can run a series of steps to calculate the price. We can have promotions, discount, and also we can have various pricing options like attribute-based pricing. So let's start off with pricing components. A product price is a set of pricing components assigned to a product. In the Salesforce Industries pricing approach, you will need to create various components to create the price. This allows pricing to be separate from the product. For a price, you need to think about whether it's a charge or an adjustment, whether it's a one-time cost, one-time price, or a recurring cost or a recurring price, and at what frequency. Whether the payment is a currency or loyalty points, and whether it's a standard charge or a penalty fee. If it's an adjustment, you can adjust the value based on an absolute amount or a percentage. And in this screen, I'm showing a price, not a cost, where the pricing variable assigned is a recurring monthly standard price, and the pricing element is of the value of $44.99. So this is a pricing element which can then be associated to a price list. Each product must be assigned to a price list. Each price list must be associated with a price book. This is what Salesforce requires. Pricing of products includes creating price list entries and assigning prices. You can have multiple price lists if required. For example, you can have a price list for employees and a price list for your customers. You can use context rules to choose which price list to associate during the selling journey. A product can only be purchased if there is an active price. If there is no active price, then the product is not sellable. You can build pricing changes using multiple price list entries that are assigned to a single product. So for example, initially I started to sell my product for $999. Then in February, my price changed to $799. And then in May, my price changed to $699. And then in August, my price changed to $649. So it's the same product. However, my price is changing, so I can introduce additional prices to the same price list, but with different dates. So the current date will take the date, will use the effectivity dates, and will take the price based on those dates. You can also classify cost either as a one-time cost or recurring cost against your products. Margins will be calculated automatically based on the cost. This enables agents to view profit and loss margins quickly. This allows companies to meet and define and meet the financial targets for specific products. If you want to increase awareness of your products, you can use promotions. Promotions are heavily used to provide incentives to customers and creates further awareness of their products. They are designed for a limited amount of time, a limited customer group, or a limited subset of products. In EPC, promotions are distinct from products. This means the product will remain as it is. You will create an additional promotion like a product without changing the existing product. Multiple promotions can be applied to one product. Promotions are available to everyone, or you can use context rules to make promotions available only to certain eligible customers. If a product is terminated early, then you can apply penalty rules. You can also create a follow-on promotion. So once the first promotion is terminated or expires, then a follow-on promotion can automatically be applied. Discounts can also be applied during the CPQ journey. Discount is used to reduce the usual price for something. Discounts can be applied to a single product or a group of products. There are two types of discounts which are supported: contextual or transactional discounts. Contextual discounts are contractual in nature, meaning they are associated with an account or a contract. Transactional discounts are more ad hoc in nature and they can be applied to a specific order. There's no concept of penalty fees for discounts, they do not apply. If you remember previously, we talked about iPhone as an example where you have storage options. You have a storage of 128 gigabytes, 156, 512, and there are different prices for 128 gigabytes. The price is £35, or for 256 gigabytes, it's £39, or 512 gigabytes, it's £49. So I don't want to be in a position to create different products for each storage option, and in this scenario, I can use attribute-based pricing, or another name is matrix pricing, where depending on the attribute value, the price will change. And in Enterprise Product Catalog, three types of matrix-based pricing is supported. Here in this example, this is what we call a standard pricing matrix, where depending on the attribute, a price is given, or another option is source and target, where the target price will be based on the source product, or another option is a range matrix based pricing, where depending on a certain range of values, for example, like quantity, if it's 1 to 20, then it's price A. If it's 21 to 50, then it's price B. So you can also apply range-based pricing matrix. And for each pricing calculation, a pricing plan gets executed. A pricing plan is a predefined steps, and these steps can either be enabled or disabled, and you can also introduce your own custom steps to provide additional logic to your pricing plan. And let's take the broadband product example. As previously we discussed, the broadband essentials can have a one-time charge associated with it. It can have a monthly recurring charge. The CP devices can have one-time charges associated with them. The installation options can have a one-time charge associated with them. In this example, I'm saying if you buy a security add-on, you have a monthly recurring charge. If you buy a Wi-Fi extender, you have a one-time charge as well. And in this example, for my monthly recurring charge based on my contract term, I can have different prices based on my contract term selection. If it's 12 months, 24 months, 18 months. So in this scenario, I can use attribute-based pricing to provide different prices based on my contract term value. Okay, let's now move to rules. The purpose of rules is to create the perfect quote in order. The quote shouldn't be invalid with incorrect pricing, or the order shouldn't be rejected further downstream. So for this, we have various rules: cardinality rules, qualification rules, validation rules, pricing rules, penalty rules, and decomposition rules. So cardinality rules, I touched on this briefly in that broadband product example, where I can define my default. If I have additional child, if I in my bundle, if I have additional child products, I can define a default value, how many of those products should appear. I can have a minimum value or a maximum value of those products. There are two types of cardinality. Child cardinality, this is number of child products which should be associated with the bundle. I can have optional child products, or I can make them mandatory, and I can also define the quantity and the default value as well. And then in the group cardinality, I can say for a certain number of child products, this is the minimum and maximum allowable quantities across my immediate children. I can create qualification rules to determine whether my products or promotions are qualified or disqualified. For example, digital TV is only available if purchased with fiber broadband. I may have a commercial offer that unlimited internet is only available for new customers. Certain promotions is only available for new customers. Certain type of off products are only eligible for a certain channel. For example, you might say these offers are only available if you buy from a digital online channel, while if you come to store, these offers are not eligible. So you can use eligibility and availability to qualify and disqualify products in your CPQ journey. If you've applied a promotion and the customer terminates the promotion before the expiry date, then you can apply a penalty rule if required. So in this example, the customer has been given an iPhone introduction promotion, 20% off for your iPhone uh, phone, and there's a $20 data plan for 6 months with a 2-year subscription. The validity is between these two dates. If the subscription is terminated before the end date, then a 20% penalty will be applied to be recovered as a penalty. Configuration and validation rules are extremely useful to determine the compatibility of a product. For example, you may want to add, remove, recommend products based on other products in the cart. For example, you may have a rule to say a modem is required if an internet solution is ordered. You can also control and display the visibility of certain attributes based on rules. For example, if my color attribute is red, then I will not support a 16 gigabytes of memory size. So I will exclude 16 gigabytes as an option. If my color attribute is blue, then my 16 gigabytes option will be presented. So I can control my attribute selection based on these rules. I can define various pricing rules so I can adjust my price based on certain rules. So we've just talked about in the previous example where you can have simple fixed pricing, a one-time charge or a recurring charge, or you might apply context rules for conditional pricing. For example, if it's a new customer, then the price is X. If it's an existing customer, then the price can be different. Individual product can have its own price, but when it's bundled against another product bundle, then the price can change. So that's what we mean by bundle pricing. You can create a master bundle price and ignore the individual prices for the product. I can create promotional pricing. We've talked about promotions and discounts, so I can apply promotions or discounts. And if any of these pricing strategies are not applicable, then you could always creating your custom pricing via Apex code to create any type of pricing rules required. There are two types of rules framework supported in the enterprise product catalog. There are context rules, which you can use to determine the product's promotions and pricing, which will appear in your cart. And they're used for pricing, availability, eligibility, and penalty. And there's another framework called advanced rules, and this can be used to create configuration and validation rules and pricing rules. How to choose between the two rules. The preferred is context rules. If context rules cannot be used, then you can use advanced rules, and they can be used both together as well. Decomposition rules are used in industry's order management, and these are used to map the commercial products into technical products. So if you purchase SFI order management, then decomposition rules will be used in converting those commercial orders into technical orders. And the decomposition rules are dynamic in nature, and you will get a dynamic order fulfillment flow based on those fulfillment rules. And finally, product versioning is a cool feature. If you want to manage your product lifecycle, if you want to introduce new products, decommission old products, then product versioning can be used to deploy new products easily. So thank you for listening to me. Hopefully you found this session interesting. There are industry demo orgs available for you to try from the Salesforce website, and my other colleagues as well will be providing further EPC sessions. So please keep a lookout on Apex Hours. Thank you for listening to me.